How to make a mixtape.
I've had some really weird kind of serendipity things lately that have been happening to me, and there's a high fidelity one I'll bring up in a second. But like yesterday, I woke up in the morning and I was kind of sleepy, but it was Saturday and I didn't feel like getting out of bed, so I was just watching YouTube on my phone in bed, and I watched a video on this guy comparing the book The Godfather to the movie The Godfather and whatever, just comparing them. That's neither here nor there. Then I'm out yesterday watching some soccer, watching the Champions League final, and I strike up a conversation with a random dude, and he asks me if we're talking about TV, and he asks me if I've seen this new show that's on like Paramount Plus. That's like a dramatized version of how The Godfather became a movie. And I'm like, this is so weird. I just watched this morning. I just watched a thing about that. That happened with High Fidelity too. Like the day that you told me that Rob Harvilla was going to be hosting this, like you text me and you're like, not only is this actually happening now, but Rob's hosting. That day I had watched a video on like 20 things you didn't know about High Fidelity that just randomly showed up in my feed. So I watched it. There's been a lot of weird shit like that lately, which is weird. I don't know that I believe in any kind of weird stuff, but anyway, dude, it's so good. So Ted Leo is, even back when I was in college, this describes him. And now I just saw he's like one of the headliners at the fest this year. So he's playing again, which is cool. I know his wife passed away from cancer and he stopped making music for a long time. But he's like this old hardcore / punk / like OG emo dude from like the East Coast. Like he was in like punk bands and like Revolution Summer era emo bands and stuff back in the day. Like he's been on that Washed Up Emo podcast before because of some of the bands he used to be in. But Ted Leo and the Pharmacist is like indie rock, of course, because I listen to it.
Obviously.
But you can hear all the punk influence, right? Like he's just an incredible songwriter. He always had these amazing musicians as his backing band, and it's like really high energy. I would almost call it like dance indie. But like dance punk, but not in the vein of Metro and like that electronic stuff. It's not electronic at all. It's like power trio, power pop,
on
punky,
tour right now.
Dancey. Dude, they're so good. Shake the Sheets, incredible record. If that sparks something for anybody, you're like, that sounds like something I would listen to. Shake the Sheets is my favorite record of theirs.
Is he playing by you, or are you going to see him?
Is great. I don't think he is playing. I've been debating if I want to like just drive down and go to the fest this year. It's been years since I've gone to the fest.
Well, you could plan a trip to Chicago on September 14th at 7 p.m.
Dude, there's so many shows in Chicago I want to come to that like the Saves the Day is Through Being Cool tour isn't playing around me anywhere. And I'm like, I should go to Chicago and see that. And Donnie and I can go to that together. Like the closest he's playing to me is Philly. No, he's playing in DC. I could go see him in DC. Maybe if I'm in town. Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited to listen to this.
I saw him open for Death Cab for Cutie once, and he crushed it. I think he was better than Death Cab on that tour. Damn. And anyway, so yeah.
He just got it's unfortunate because I feel like they just got shadowed by like the Fatboy Slims and the Chemical Brothers. Dude, is it the dumb hat that made him less relevant? Like, did he get shadowed by a dumb hat? Like, because like
I don't know, it kind of made him more relevant at the time and then instantly less relevant, right? It's like that was totally of that moment, but then it burned out really quick. He always had hats though. I think he was a hat guy, not that hat specifically. I'm looking at the cover of their 2005 album, and he's got like one of those dumb like hat? Furry. No, well, it's not that dumb. It's like a furry ear flap. You know, like you're out in you're in Canada or you're in Alaska or something, and
for sure.
He's got in this their 2017 album cover. He's got on some kind of like glowing crown. So he's definitely a hat guy. He's wearing like that's maybe not great. It looks like he's wearing a headdress on the cover of Funk Odyssey from 2001.
Okay. Yeah.
He likes his headgear. A lot of dumb hats. So
the Deftones are one of those. So there's a couple of bands that make me feel like my t-shirt's on backwards all the time, and the Deftones are one of them. Like, they just make me feel like something's just a little bit off. The other one's Portishead. Those are the two big artists where it's like, is my fucking t-shirt on backwards? Like, what feels wrong, and it's where the melodies don't match the vocal progressions.
I think that's what I love about them. They're so different.
I don't dislike them.
Yeah,
no, that's not true. I don't love either of those groups, but
I love
again,
both
that's
those
the
bands.
best way I can describe it. What's up?
They do lean into almost an uncomfortability as part of their music, and
Totally.
I like it. And I love Portishead, and I
Yeah.
don't know if you know this, but
Yeah.
I love Deftones also.
Yeah,
I love
get
Deftones. But anyway, is this? We've never talked about this, and maybe this is a totally different episode or a side conversation. But is this the best? And I hate asking best questions, right? Like, what's the best? What's your top 3? Whatever. But I'm going to ask it anyway. And as a designer myself, is this the all-time best band logo? It's definitely top 5. I don't think there's any argument there.
Damn,
right? It's just
dude,
so
that's
iconic.
A great fucking question.
But is this the best?
It's tough. It's tough to say.
Yeah.
Because you'd have to almost go genre specific, because you can't say that. Is it the best? Sure. Is it the most iconic? No.
See, I think that's interesting. I would almost flip it and say I think it might be the most iconic.
Dude, you got to think about shit like the Stones' tongue. You got to think of shit like the Stones' tongue is more iconic.
That's iconic. That's iconic. Yeah. So is this though, man? You see this I see this more on more like t-shirts and tattoos than I see the Stones' tongue. But that might be
genres.
The circles
I'm sorry.
run in.
I think that's generational.
Yeah. I think the best from a design standpoint, the best ever band logo is actually Black Flag, and that's not genre specific. Like that could be any. They could have been a prog rock band called Black Flag, and that's still the perfect logo. That is the perfect logo. It's 4 bars, arranged in a way, 4 black bars arranged in a way that kind of imitates a waving flag, but is also just so iconic because it's straight. You can put it on anything. It's just 4 rectangles. You can get it tattooed. You can put it on anything that you want. Like that is maybe one of the best. Not even music, man. That might just be one of the best logos ever created. Ever.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Anyway, that's
very good.
It's just a question. I was just looking at the. I forget his name. He's got a name. The what's the Misfits guy called?
Glenn
I should
Danzig?
know this. No. The logo, like they
The
call
skull?
it something. Anyway, yeah, I think it's got like a thing like like you've got like Iron Maiden's got Eddie and stuff like
Crimson Ghost.
Crimson Ghost. There you go. It's so good.
Within Fix You by Coldplay, there is you ever watch the show The Newsroom? It's an Aaron Sorkin show on HBO.
Yeah.
I don't know who the music director of that show is, but they do some of the best integrating songs into moments that happen in that show. And there's a scene in that show where, for those of you that haven't watched the show, it's a fictional news show that covers current news topics that are happening. And was her name Gabby Petito? Is that the woman that got shot?
I'm not
She
sure.
was a congresswoman in Arizona.
I'm not sure.
Okay, well, it comes out that when Gabby Petito was shot, everybody had pronounced her dead. All of the news networks had pronounced her dead before she died. And this news network won't go to air with the fact that she had been shot because they didn't have enough confidence within that that it had happened. And so they don't go to it. It's not Gabby Petito. She was the chick that went missing. Either way, whoever the chick was, but it's this really emotional moment where they won't go live on air saying she was murdered, and come to find out that every other news network was wrong. It's a huge moment for this song, and it sets the theme perfectly, but it's a sad as fuck song.
Yeah, it is.
How to make a mixtape.